Are you ready for a significant change in Florida's education landscape? Starting in the 2026 to 2027 school year, students will be introduced to a new subject focused on the history of communism. This decision, made following last year's legislative session, marks a substantial shift in the curriculum. Specifically, a law known as SB 1264 mandates that public schools incorporate lessons on communism into their social studies or language arts programs. This legislation requires that the coursework cover a range of topics, including the history of communism in the U.S. and abroad, the atrocities committed under communist regimes, and a comparative analysis of political ideologies such as communism and totalitarianism. Legislative analysts emphasize that the content must be age-appropriate and should address several key areas: the emergence and impact of communist movements within the United States and internationally, including Russia, China, Cuba, and other regions. The horrific events and human rights abuses that have occurred in countries under communist rule. A thorough examination of different political ideologies, highlighting the distinctions and similarities between communism and other forms of governance. The growing threat of communism not only to the U.S., but also to its allies around the world. The economic, industrial, and political factors that often precede communist revolutions. An in-depth look at the communist policies implemented in Cuba and how these ideologies have spread throughout Latin America. Interestingly, amendments that sought to include additional topics, such as an exploration of McCarthyism or the connection between the January 6, 2021 Capitol riot and the potential rise of communism, did not make it into the final bill. Despite this, the legislation still garnered strong support in both the State House and Senate. Governor Ron DeSantis signed the bill into law in April 2024, and the State Board of Education is now responsible for developing the specific course standards. Throughout the year, various work groups have been meeting to draft these standards, with the intention of presenting them for approval at a Board of Education meeting in the fall. While the exact standards are still under development, the new coursework is set to be introduced in classrooms starting in the 2026-2027 academic year. The Florida Department of Education is currently working on providing more detailed information about these proposed standards, and we are eagerly awaiting their response. This new subject is sure to spark debate and discussion among students, educators, and parents alike. But here's where it gets controversial. How should the history of communism be presented in a way that is both informative and unbiased? And this is the part most people miss. What are the potential long-term impacts of this new curriculum on students' understanding of political ideologies and global events? We encourage you to share your thoughts on this topic. Do you believe that this new subject will provide valuable insights into the history of communism, or do you have concerns about how it might be taught? Let us know your opinions in the comments below.